So what we're going to be doing here is working through Faulkner's Dagger plays. So just start things out, we've got 3 guards that we're going to primarily be working from. First one, so most of the time when we've got a weapon on our hand, or whatever side, our weapon side foot is going to be back, because a lot of times we're going to be delivering from distance and we want as much reach as possible. We want our musculature and everything, the structure behind it. So first guard we're going to be going through, working with, the one that you're going to be seeing a lot of defenses against, is anomalous to the German guard of Ox, but also Von Tog. So it's point forward, so it's what you would see the serial killer ice pick grip. So point forward. This hand here, I've seen it all kinds of places in the different manuals. I've seen it here, I've seen it down here, I've seen it here, I've seen it tucked behind the back. Personally, I like having mine right here because I've got a guard on that those femoral arteries, but also because it's a lot easier to bring that hand into play for defenses. This works too, but it's just, there's some timing issues on that, but I've always had better luck having it resting down here. It's a little more comfortable for me. All right, so obviously you can see where this guard, most of the striking is going to come from this. Do your bad violin. The next guard we're going to be mostly working with is flute, so the plow. You're going to flip the guard, so you're going to have a point forward, hold it down here by the hip, wherever your hand is going to rest. And as you can see here, most of that's going to be done with stabs to the lower line, even to the upper line. You can do attacks on the high line. If you use what's called, if you do what's called a Sturzhau, which is where you invert your hand and stab high, it's like a stab from hanging. The last guard we're going to be making, we would make a lot of use of, is trunk hook, or the barrier guard. That's going to look a little weird, so we're going to switch back to an ice pick grip. We're going to swap our feet. We're going to pull this guy over here, and this is you can use this for attacks, obviously on either the high or low line. But mostly what this is used for is defensive purposes. So if I'm in a fight, if I was fighting, let's say Stuart first a moment here, and I went from here and he did something to nullify this knife, I could step back into here if I needed to retreat and I'd be in a good position to wade off his blows, or at least try to hook around his wrist or catch his knife. Any questions so far? Most of your stance is going to be, it's not front or back weighted, it's only front or back weighted depending on the situation and what you have to do. Sometimes you're going to back weight because you don't want to get stabbed, especially if you're stopping an attack, because these are very long knives, especially when it comes to a thrust on that low line. You'll find a lot of time on that defense if you're not moving your torso backwards, that point of that knife is going to be tickling your belly button. So just for some basic, so the fun part is most of the defenses, 90% of the defenses you do are going to be without any weapon in your hand. And that's because a lot of times when somebody tries to kill you with one of these, you're not going to be expecting it, it's going to be a surprise attack. So for our first defense we're going to be learning here is what's called it's a hand parry with the left hand, and it turns into what's called a triangle lock. Are you okay? You get everything in that hand? Okay. So if you go into ice pick grip, so, all right, so just for sake of argument here, Ansel's attacking me with a raised dagger. He's thrust at my face, so I'm going to shoot forward. So I'm going to be nice about this. But normally when you're shooting in with that hand, I'm not coming through like this. I'm not trying to judo chop into his wrist. I'm bringing this up, and I'm shooting it straight forward and trying to jam the edge of my hand into those ligaments and tendons in there to weaken his grip, but also to give him a little incentive not to be, just a little stun there. Hit here. And as soon as I do that, I'm going to seize his wrist, right where his hand and his wrist join. I want to try and get both the ends of the forearm, the ends of the bone, grab there, and then I'm going to turn, so number one, I'm going to immobilize where that knife can go for the most part, and then I'm going to take actually here, because he's still thrusting me, so we're there. So ideally, this is what this is going to look like. Now you see here, this looks kind of like a triangle, which is what Faulkner refers it to as a triangle lock. I'm going to take this from here, and I'm going to just swing this bind between us, and as it goes through, my forearm's going to start to strip that dagger out of his hand. And mind you, we're not stopping when we do this. It's all going to be done fluid. There's not going to be any chance here because we found a lot of times in training, if somebody has a chance to arrest their momentum, what they usually do is at you, and somebody's going to give them, and you're going to be, it's all going to be done dynamically. Try that again. All right. All right, so it comes in, boom, come through. Most of the time, that's just going to fall on the ground. At that point, I'm probably going to push off from him, pull my own knife, and just be like, yeah. And as I tell all my other students when we do Dagger class, this has stuff that works in a modern context, but if you ever want to learn like modern defense against a knife, take a modern class. The only other thing I'll say on that is do you know how to tell the difference between somebody who knows how to use a knife and doesn't? Person who doesn't know how to knife will show it to you because they're trying to intimidate you into compliance. Person who knows how to use a knife, you won't see it until they hit you. That's usually going to be something like,
yeah, like the closer does.
If they're trying to rob you or something, they'll just wait for you to fall over and go into shock, and then they'll take your stuff and go. If they're just trying to kill you, they'll just and walk on.